Hello everyone, welcome back to the ESL Pro League Season 5. NaVi versus North is the matchup we have today, and the first map was a bit of an exciting one. It was very interesting. I'm joined by Hugo, and we're going to touch on why that was such a crazy result. North, unstoppable.
Absolutely, and NaVi just falling apart. Really a momentum-based game. Neither team was kind of able to start off with the momentum. We saw the pistol round going to North. It was instantly upset by the third round, forced buy from NaVi, and very back and forth for the first, I think, 9 rounds it was until we saw the first full buy coming out from both teams, and we saw the AWP in play. And then we were kind of expecting maybe it to stable out, maybe one team to kind of take the lead, and it really did.
Yeah.
North just dominated the rest of the way through the game, didn't let up any rounds, and NaVi only finished off with 4 at the end.
That's crazy that they went through, and obviously guys, if you did miss that game and you're only joining us now, you can catch the VODs over on our YouTube channels. Why don't you head on over there, subscribe, and when you hit that button, there's one more thing you got to do, Hugo. You got to ring that bell so you stay up to date with all the latest and greatest coming from our YouTube channel. Why wouldn't you want to stay up to date with all these fantastic games from Season 5 of Pro League? And there's one more that is coming up soon. Obviously, Map 2, it is going to be Mirage. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I looked at this one as the one that NaVi should be picking up in theory. I kind of thought Cobble would go the way of North, just due to the way that NaVi have been fairly shaky on it recently. But now, looking at it realistically, just off of individual performance, I still think this one can actually switch over and go to North. I think there's a really good chance to take this one. Obviously, all the players are on fire. We saw MSL kind of leading that one. Cajun, not as much needed. He was near the bottom of the scoreboard, but still able to pick up a lot of crucial AWP kills as well for the team. We even saw Config dominate at time to time. So, I mean, really good variance in terms of play from North. A lot of them able to step up, whereas NaVi, with these individual players like Guardian, people on the AWP that should be doing very well, he ended the game with 3 kills. So if your AWPer can't step up for the team, that's quite difficult, because we do see a lot of teams, despite Simple being such a great secondary AWP, he will very unlikely be given the AWP over Guardian in the majority of the time, just due to the way the leadership works out. And this is similar to example G2 that we looked at yesterday with Kenny's and Shocks. Even if Kenny's not having the game of his life, he will always take the AWP over Shocks, unless we have spawns, for example, in different scenarios and saves. But buying the AWP, if we're giving it to Guardian and he's performing like he did in Cobblestone, we could be seeing another whitewash in the way of the Danish side.
It's true, they definitely come in. I mean, it was a Danish derby. They just tore their way through. And one of the reasons why they did is because they're UC utility. And guys, if you want some tips to try and aid you with your utility usage over on Mirage, check out this video.
Hey Future Pros! We are back on Mirage, but this time with a fantastic flash. This is for the CT side to use for mid-window and useful for retaking mid-control. To perform it, line yourself up at this point on the ground. Aim to the right side of this vent along the flaked off paint. Toss the flash, and this should hopefully catch an unsuspecting T off guard. Easy kills for you, good luck!
Normally, I don't condone flashing, but in a video game, I think it should be okay. So they work their way through. Obviously, if you want to try and use that flashbang at mid, it will aid you when you're going for those peaks. But Hugo, talking about peaks coming out towards mid-window, is going to be under very heavy contention going into this. Obviously, mid-control Mirage is a big deal.
It is indeed. You're going to want to obviously to split into the sites. There's a lot of control you can take up towards connector, and obviously with the versatility, this map being similar to Dust 2 in the sense that you can come out through either top mid or bottom mid, either through lower in Dust 2 or obviously underpass in Mirage. A lot of abilities to take that mid control, split in towards a site, and the fact that we just talked about Guardian not being able to really lock down anywhere with the AWP in the previous map, going into mid control here where it's so very based on the AWP, unless you go for some kind of crazy mid stack and a short connector play where you can have that crossfire. If Guardian's posted up solo towards middle, we could be seeing a very dangerous game in the way of North.
It's true, and that's the thing as well. The scary factor is with North, just in terms of individual skill, they went mental into that previous matchup. Just frag after frag of complete domination coming out. And on Mirage as well, it's not a map they're shy of. Definitely working their way through. We said we hedged our bets towards them. We thought this is where they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable. So if they weren't comfortable on the other map, coming into this, you've got to wonder, is this just going to be a whitewash to open with? Especially with those opening pistols, as NaVi couldn't find their legs.
I mean, if we look at previous results, at least in terms of how well they've been doing on the map, statistically in the last 3 months, they're 7-3. That does include online and LAN, obviously, and up against lower teams, so it can be inflated, etc. But 7-3 is a very good scoreline. That being said, North aren't having their issues either. 5-2 currently on the map. So, but both teams having effective control over this map. This is a good map, or at least I said coming into this matchup for both teams. So our cobble's a little more shaky for North, a little more shaky for NaVi, and less so for North. Going into this one, it's a very equal matchup. Just looking at the way North played, it's still hard to justify NaVi, despite having good performances prior to this game, for them to actually even have anything into this one, I think we're going to have to see Guardian stepping up. We're going to have to see Flamey stepping up, because over on the T side, we need him for those entries. We need him to be opening up the bomb sites. And if he can't do that, he wasn't over on the first map, obviously. Again, it's really, really difficult. But that being said, again, Flamey obviously being the entry fragger, right? Being over on that T side, posted up to get himself into sight. Taking into account, Navi only played a couple of rounds over on their T side. It was a 10-5, 11-4 half. So they really didn't get any T side to play with. So hopefully, with them starting over on the T side this time, I think it may be, they may have another chance.
Okay, and the interesting thing there obviously is as well with Flamey, as you said, on that T side, we didn't really get too much of a chance to see him even on his T side. Starting off over on CT with such a crazy scoreline going the way of North, there wasn't too much for him to do. Obviously, by the time they got rifles in their hands, the game was essentially closed out already. And the thing is, their CT half, they had a few moments where they went for these kind of aggressive plays, and that's what we wanted to see. A little bit of ingenuity coming out from Navi is their default just did not work. Towards that B-bomb site, it was so easy for North to get in, round out, back to back, just slipping in, taking what they wanted and leaving no questions. Whereas for Navi, when they went for these slightly aggressive plays and tried to capitalize, they did get the opening frags and closed out the rounds. But it just seemed like their confidence was completely gone. Yeah,
a lot of weird individual performances as well, at least in terms of some questionable plays. For example, we talked about this earlier, at least especially with Flamey. Once we constantly saw those smokes over the B site, the wall, to at least allow yourself to separate the site into two, you have the control towards Chicken Coop all the way over towards Plateau, and then everything onwards from the statue is smoked off, meaning you can get that bomb down. We saw so many times Flamey peeking out from the back of the site, 2 or 3 times I think he did it in the first half, just trying to get that kill. And I understand it. If you're going off, you know, you can go for that smoke push. He didn't even use a flashbang though, and he wasn't really having the game of his life. So very hard to justify some of the plays that we saw there in terms of individually, because he pushed out and he just gave that free pick over every single time. And every time North are running into the bomb site with a man advantage. And not only is retaking very, very hard on Cobble, it's even harder when you have a man disadvantage.
It's true. And talking about those crazy individual plays that get you those openers as well, don't we check out some of the community plays? You guys at home that sent in your clips, let's check it. Wow, some crazy stuff. Absolutely dominant, I can tell you that for nothing. But something I can't tell you is what's going through your guys' minds. And what I want to know is what's going on. Tweet at me, let me know over at our Twitter and our Facebook, and tell us your thoughts. Who will win this upcoming matchup? Obviously, North, they came in hard and fast, locked down map 1. But are they going to take map 2? Or will Navi bounce back?
Who knows, really? We've gone over it again. You called a Navi 2 at the beginning, so I'd just like to rub that in your face, obviously, a little bit. But,
don't rub anything in my face, please.
Oh, I can't promise anything. But obviously, going into this one, we're expecting a North victory, but let's hope for an upset. I'd love to see a split map, especially with the the standings right now. For those unaware, these two teams are currently at 3rd and 4th. Navi in 3rd place and North in 4th. They are both at the same scoreline, 7 and 3. Now changed, obviously, as North took up the first map, but the only separating difference was round difference. So going into this, this, if we see a 1-1 split again, this could be even better because both these teams are going to continue to stay at the same level in the standings, and it's just going to be more and more exciting for us as we progress further into the league and see if they can at least hold that spot, or if we're going to see some underdog teams like Hellraisers, for example, who've really been making their way up the ranks, come away and take some spots from them.
It's true. I mean, that's the thing. It was dominant as they worked their way through. Obviously, high contention coming in as they try and keep those spots in the standings. But it will be a short break before we find out who will be able to stay in what position. Tune in after the break. Everyone, welcome back to ESL Pro League. We just had that short break to let the teams get ready, but now they're finally locked and loaded and ready to start this second map. It is going to be Mirage, and it should be an absolute brawl. NaVi, if they can reinvigorate themselves and come back into this and look strong, it should be a close one. But the scary factor is, North just looked like they were going to overpower them. Is that possible?
Yeah, of course. I really just want to see this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to know what's happening. I want to see the game, because right now it could be anyone's match. Despite NaVi having their own issues over in the first and only picking up 4 rounds on Cobblestone, with them now starting over on the T side, maybe a new NaVi, maybe their ability to actually show off what they've got on their terror side, because we didn't see it at all on Cobblestone. And going into this pistol round, if they can pick it up, again, you talked about this earlier, they're a very momentum-based team, get that early start, they can really get into this matchup. So we're actually going to go right into it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the second map of the night here on the ESL Pro League B stream. It is Hugo, me, and Jackie. Take it away on the pistol round.
Let's see what they're actually going to go for here. Obviously, a lot of utility investment. Free smokes play with 1 flashbang on Guardian as well, so they can set themselves up. Go for this 3-man apps burst after the smokes roll in. And Edward as well. Actually, sorry, Guardian can flash over. When he pops the flash, everyone will execute their way in towards the bomb site. There's no one playing up close and personal, though. The smoke's going through. Will block off a couple of the angles, but there's no smoke for CT. And that's where KGB's playing from. He will get dinked in the face, though. Got to fall back as well now. He's only left on 18 HP. That's not a great start. Simple making it one better as well as he takes down Magisk as he comes in with that huge opening frag. The push coming in as well. The T's playing it smart. Using their aggression, peeking together. They want to try and capitalize even more. Smoke goes down. C's not very low at this point as the push comes in, but they're entering into the meat grinder, Hugo. Flamey taken down, though. Config starts to kick things off as he goes huge. The opening hat trick comes into effect. Config is dominating.
Yeah, great play with Guardian, going to pull one back as he takes down MSL, and Simple out of nowhere, just in front of the balcony. 2 quick headshots to close out the round, and NaVi, finally we're seeing something. They're going to be able to pick up a pistol. As you can see, now they should be able to hopefully get this ball rolling, hopefully being able to throw a spanner in the works and actually pick up a few more rounds, but North are going to be forcing the issue. We see a scout on Config, we see armor pistols on everyone else on the team, and frankly, we could be seeing a dangerous force buy here, but NaVi aren't playing any games. They've got the double rifle buy. They are playing it safely. A lot of teams, as of late, have been going with a lot of SMG-based buys, and while that is still continuing with the triple UMP into this, at least they've got a couple of safe rifles. Obviously, these are going to be great at ranges. If you want to take that mid control, going to need an AK or Galil most of the time, because if we see a scout on North over towards middle, it could be dangerous. But the scout, it's up towards BAPS and Config. He's looking for something. He spotted someone through the pixel, but he's not going to be able to connect. Just baiting out the shots. He's going to be able to jump in back and forth. And for the time being, NaVi are just holding back, waiting for said aggression as Config. He's going to start to push himself deep into the apartments.
Yep, trying to get the information. That's the smartest thing to do as well. If he pushes his way through, we'll get the information that they are stacked towards the A-bomb site, as there's no T's near him. All of that map control is over towards ramp. They've got an abundance of utility. Smart stuff. Use it. Make your angles blocked off. Make it easier to slip your way through into the A-bomb site. The only thing is, Magix and Cajun playing on this close angle, they can complement each other. Cajun as well, he's playing anti-flash. So if Magix gets the information, Cajun can still retaliate. He won't be blinded, but the push comes through. Can they get the openers here? Cajun will do so. Fires away with that 5-7 as he pulls the trigger ferociously. Edward as well, claiming one. Simple, another frag. They're taking one each as they slowly make their approach into the bomb site. Now AZ in the back line, lips his way through Sandwich, will connect the headshot upon Guardian, but he's quickly taken down, leaving just Config to try and make it better, but Edward had the angle covered. Easy pickings as he pulls the trigger, leaves him dead on the floor. And NaVi pick up that second round. There will be 2 casualties though, so the rebuys have to come out. Not going to allow them to go through that one flawlessly.
Yeah, but obviously keeping 3 players is going to start to build up their economy here on this T side. That's so important. And going into this one, actually playing it very, very safely, which is what I like to see. So many teams will reinvest fully, and I don't think it's necessary. Knowing that North are more than likely going to be full ecoing this one, Guardian's not even going to be buying up apart from a pistol and some armor. So if any of his teammates do fall down, he can grab their weapon and not have to, double reinvest and waste the money of buying up a rifle here. So NaVi, fast into B they go. It's going to be the charge out as they jump onto the site. The bomb should be going down in just a quick second as well. And Flamey with the Mac 10 hunting for some cash. He's looking for the bills, and he is going to be landing 3 quick kills. NaVi picking up a 3rd round on the board, and North now finally going for their buy.
Cash injections come through. The money's been wired to his bank account, and he is living life large. You can see his new pair of glasses he got there, all of those in fresh.
Very nice, yeah.
Really fits him. But yeah,
From the
obviously.
ESL store.
Oh
obviously.
Yeah, of course. He's wearing his jersey as well, Hugo, which you can pick up from the ESL store. But everyone looking very happy at this point as the buy do come through. Obviously, those AKs now in play, ready to slay, hoping they can make their opponents at the DECK. Simple with the opening pick, trying to make it work, but unfortunately will not go his way. Connecting upon AZ, but doesn't take him down just yet. Most of the aggression stacked towards that B-bomb site as well. There are smoke walls trying to slow them down, but they actually just go for it. Ballsy play as they slip their way through. MSL trying to hold them back. He was huge in map 1, but can't do as much damage coming into map 2. Gets punished. Edward as well, the UMP master, as he glides his way around the bomb site, taking down anyone that wants to try and contest against him. Cajun B will arrive on the scene, though, hoping to cause a stir, but Simple warding them off. Cajun B will eventually find one frag, but there's the headshot back from Simple. Can he do more?
Does get one more. Will fall down. It's all onto Guardian now, coming back in through short here. AZ just holding the angle. The bomb is in control of him as well on the site, and I think he knows exactly what's going on as Guardian. He's just going to have to run on back in through the connector. He goes. He can come in with the flank, and with plenty of time, that's going to allow him to sneak, not make too much noise. But now, with the time ticking down, AZ's going to start second guessing. He may be considering this flank coming from Guardian. He's actually going to situate himself back towards the car, waiting for the push to come in, maybe jumping into the apartments as well. Could give him a better position to at least play for the bomb. But again, if he faces, he's going to be a lot of hurt because Guardian does have that AK. It's only going to require 1 bullet just to wipe his face off of the earth. And Guardian pushing back into the site, trying to look for this kill. It's just a thin wall that separates the two, and AZ will peek out. Ballsy, but it makes it work, and North finally going to be picking up their 1st round here on the board. NaVi, though, still able to buy up into this.
Yep, obviously that cash still working out from the buys will come back through. The AWP is in play as well, going to be passed over to Guardian. C's going to be wielding that Kalashnikov as the rest of the buys come in for utility. Flamey skipping a little bit there. We'll go in for the buy and the Molotov as well. So he has something else to play with a little bit. They do have a lot of smokes though. That's the most important factor. They needed them to try and help them out. Guardian with the opening pick, trying to find an opening frag, but it doesn't really work out. Eventually we'll find one in the end. Takes down AZ as the peaks come through. They were hoping to use that mid-aggression to overpower NaVi, catch them off guard, but instead they've already lost 3 men.
Yeah, and with 3 UMPs into this round as well, a bit of an unjustified position, pushing it towards middle with close range SMGs, but regardless, it's going to be so well for NaVi right now. Magisk sitting on the top of the site, waiting for them to push him, but it's going to be the short control with the split coming in through B-Apps is perfect. North have read this wrong. They're both playing over towards the A site and middle. No one in position to stop this push, and NaVi are going to have a free site control up their sleeves. Edward as well, just the timing, going to turn around, but still spots MSL. A clean headshot comes in as he removes his skull, and Magisk, last man standing, wrong side of the map. He's going to try and save, but NaVi, I bet, want to take him down.
Yeah, they're going to try and hunt here. They might as well punish them, get 5 casualties on the board. That's 5 rebuys that really is going to break their economy. Flamey will spot him out, but Magix is moving a little bit too hard to deal with at this point. He will take him down, eliminate Flamey, extinguished, you might say, as he now tries to reposition as well, hoping to see if any more men will come his way. Just holding the A-bomb site. The T's trying to converge as they work their way through. Edward should have the drop on him. He works his way from the back line, rattling on the AK, will eventually find the frag upon Magix. And NaVi not only get the round, but also wipe everyone on the side of North. That's not great, as it's the reset coming through, Hugo, and the economy is busted.
Yeah, but they are going to be forcing things up, obviously, because, again, resets are terrible, but you at least know you can still afford to buy up into the third round. If you invest in the first or don't, it will only limit their utility going into their next buy in 2 rounds' time. But obviously, a few deagles in play can't hurt. They can definitely pick something up here. NaVi, if they overextend, it could be dangerous. But no head armor, aside from on both Magisk and Cajun. So that means Flamey can really exploit that with the Mac-10, especially if he goes for some kind of fast play, tries to catch these deagles off guard. But look at the position of Config. He's actually going to force himself down through middle. He's not got any support through the window, so a very risky play, but he's repositioning back in towards mid. The headshot angle coming in. They've got to connect the shots, and Guardian, he's going to be the man for the job, but instead it's Edward to peek out aggressively, takes a kill onto Config as he pushes, and 1 by 1 seized. Also going to be dispatching of Magisk. It's NaVi in a 5-on-3, and North falling short.
Yeah, and you can see really smart play as well from NaVi here. A lot slower, you just hold that default. They read the buys very well. They know they're going to try and invest into this, but still they're not going to have the range to work with. You have to play up close and personal with those pistols, so use that range to your advantage, holding these close angles. They're just walking into you. You can just pick them up very easily. Flamey as well now, taking the fight with that Mac-10. He's finding frags all over the place. Crazy that he picks up the second kill upon AZ as well there, even when the range was not in his favor. MSL trying to do something with the deagle as he peeks out, hoping he can find a dirty shot, which he will. Takes down Flamey, but Edward with the response. And NaVi get another round as we expected.
And a lot of cash as well, only losing 1 player to that full force buy from North, so effective. NaVi seem to have come back in completely rejuvenated and looking like a completely different team. Already, they've got more rounds now than they had in the whole previous map over on Cobblestone, and they're going to extend it by 1 more. North now going to be on the full eco, all USBs, no investment, not a penny spent into this round, and they are going to be going for the stack over towards the A site. Just MSL solo towards B, trying to spot for any kind of information, and a bit of a passive play here we see from the CT side. We see Magic's pushed up over towards the balcony. We've got a couple on the site as well. It seems that Simple may just be walking into this, but NaVi are mainly establishing a default. No early aggression. Simple holding on towards the back of the apartments, and we have as well Flamey over in the T-spawn, just holding for the time being. I can imagine they're going to go for some kind of double push, considering Flamey has a Mac-10 for the job.
Yeah, as they go for that pincer play into the late round, you would imagine try and converge upon that bomb site. Scary factor is as well, the angles being in use by North right now. Sure, they don't have the best weapons in their arsenal, but they still pack a punch if you catch your opposition off guard. Simple will be the one just holding his tongue for the meantime, though, biting it as he waits for his teammates to try and aid him. They're all going to link up before they go for this push. Obviously, they've got a little utility as well. Only 2 smokes, though, so they can't really block off too many angles. So it will be a little bit awkward as they make their way through. Simple clearing his angles now. Smart stuff. If he extends out, he will be in between a crossfire, though, so his teammates try and go in first, make his time a little bit easier, gets the opening kill, but there's a response. Magix, as we assumed, would be able to try and do some damage. Nade rolls in, though, the mortar strike blowing AZ out of the server. The AK in the hand of Magix, we hoped he'd be able to do something with it, but Guardian, back on form, takes him down. Flamey as well to finish off MSL. And that eco round, not able to do too much. They did find 1 kill, but Simple's bank account's inflated already, so it wasn't really that effective.
Even so, though, North are back on the buy. NaVi have established a lot of dominance early on with this cash flow really being in their favor. So now, looking at North, they have to pick something up. And we can see Config's going to be relocated down to a FAMAS, but that will allow him to buy the utility and the kit as well. Very, very important here for the CT side, as the rest of them just sticking with the M4s. No AWP in play just yet here for the CT side. The money really is being crushed by the oppressing terrorists as Magisk looks for a bit of an opener. In towards ramp he goes. He's going to hear the nades going out as well into Palace, so he knows there's some positional players around here, but re-smoking, I like this. This is clever. NaVi may completely misread this one, and the smoke going down may give them the sound cue, expecting no one to have pushed, but Flamey's just holding for the time being. Nothing will be going on there, and he backs off just for the moment. As you can see, the rest of the NaVi are going to be setting up towards B. This is a casual smoke A, go B. Bit of a fake here from NaVi. Nothing too special. We do have still 2 players towards the B side, so let's see if these smokes and flashes over towards A and the potential push will force a rotation. If Simple gets spotted with the bomb here taken into account, there's no way they'll be able to fall for this fake. But here we go. The smokes and flashes go in. Magic's aggressive position gets called out from Edward. That's surely going to force a rotation, and they may not even need one, as Edward's found himself 2. Guardian's picked up a kill towards the B side. They know exactly what's going on, but it's only Config alive, and he will just be dropped as NaVi, a very dominant start.
Yeah, this is looking good actually as they work their way through a whole lot better. You know, we wanted to see them on that T side. We know they can be very explosive, use that confidence to their advantage, and it seems like it's finally sort of reset their mentality as well. They look dominant. They're coming into these rounds very aggressively, being able to shut them down. Great use of utility as well, but they're boiling that clock down. It's more classic NaVi this time around, and North as well, trapped once again off the back of that reset with just a couple of measly pistols to play with. They have those deagles that can be deadly if they can connect the shots, but struggling on this opener until MSL will kick it off, taking down Edward. Config as well, trying to do something else, but it's not really going his way. Magix, though, claiming one upon C's, looking like there's still potential left in this round. They have some fight left in them. Simple brushes his way up short with the backup of Flamey coming round as well. They should be aware that AZ is close by window. He got a couple of tags off onto his teammate, just going to try and hold the angle and connect the shot. Config on the site, taken down, though, executed as his head is knocked clean off by Simple. Hungry for more as well as he repositions around. Magix hoping for the backstab as he tiptoes his way through, encroaching upon the backline. We'll be able to find it. NaVi with a flick as he takes down one man in KJB, leaving things in a 2 versus 2. There's only one AK that's been scavenged over in the hands of Magix. He's got 2 frags to his name, but can he double that up?
He's going to need to unless AZ steps up here without any armor to support this deagle. It's so risky. He will be hearing them pushing their way into the apartments, re-grabbing control of the bomb and potentially going for this B play, but Magix is positioned perfectly here. He has that armor to play with as well. And we can start to see NaVi just putting a bit of pressure down towards B. They're not in a rush for time. They have 40 seconds left. That's more than enough if they do commit to this B site. Obviously, not having to rotate as they would have to start this one now. So it's looking more and more likely by the second that they're going to be committing unless they hurry up. And actually, they're going to drop down through the underpass. This is good. They can run into the connector here, but the issue is they can't sneak this whole way. Obviously, no one's in position to hear the footsteps, but they still need to hurry up sooner rather than later because if they push onto the site with 10 seconds left, while that is very typical NaVi, it's very difficult to get the bomb down if you don't know where the last player is. AZ positioned towards the back of the box, waiting for them. He should just wait for the plant. No need to peek, but he's actually going to go for it. It works. He takes down Guardian. The bomb is faked. It's not planted, and Flamey eventually getting the kill before he commits to it over on default. Does he have time? I think he's just missed out. It's just by the tick of the second, but he's just going to get it in time. And now they are going to pick up the round as he peeks out onto Magisk, rotating back in through the site.
That's crazy. Literally, as soon as it hit free there, the last second he possibly could have gone for that plant. Gets it for the skin of his teeth, and then the follow-up frag as well, the aggressive peek. I mean, that is crazy. And look at the buy hit coming out from North as well. The double up steps come out. Cajun, he was on point when we saw him don the ult previously. Config as well. He's been hitting some juicy flicks, frag after frag coming out from him. So with this double up setup in play, potentially a lot of firepower in their back pockets. Let's see if they can wield it efficiently, though. Peek does come through. Molotov goes down as well. No opener going the way of Cajun just yet, but he's holding for quite some time towards mid. Isn't going to try and reposition just yet.
MSL, though, getting a bit too hungry here for frags as he does get damaged on very early on, down to 16 as he backs off. NaVi putting some good hurt on, but Cajun B finally going to be striking with that AWP, pulling it up, and it's going to be wise of him doing so. He's found the first frag of the round, and taking down Edward as well, an important kill. But it will be NaVi trying to reposition, go for this one once again. Caesar's pushing himself down into the underpass, and with the bomb rotating back into T-spawn, we're expecting to see a bit of a split back down onto this A site. Another player joining him in middle. As you can see, the bomb is transferred over to Simple to go back towards the spawn. And this will just be a 2-man split through connector if they can, so take mid control. Maybe a potential boost as well. Looking at the control of North, this could be perfectly red as well. But AZ, he's just going to be on the outside of the connector. C's needs to be ready. He needs to be holding the right angle in the smoke. It's going to go down. He knows exactly what's going on. Flash as well, but he just misses out. And C's not getting peaked. But NaVi, with 40 seconds left on the clock, they've got to commit soon.
There's the opening frag though from Guardian, have the angle covered towards Ticket Box. The peek comes through from KJB, and that's one of those AWPs, and the double up setup removed immediately. Magix as well, trying to defend the angle, but Simple is too much to handle as he gets the opening kill. AZ though, response frag, but there's the kill from Seized, biding his time down to a T before he went for that peek, capitalizing off the back of being aware of the positioning of the North player. Now, they have some time to play before they have to get that bomb plant. They're going to go for the short plant as well to try and play alongside his teammates. Unfortunately, Guardian being taken down by MSL does give them a bit of breathing room. If Config can get another frag on the board here, this is still a doable round. Just spotted out Flame as he tried to reposition the backstab upon C's, blissfully unaware of his angle that was in play as they now make their approach through as well. They know where Flamey is. Molotov goes in to draw him out, but he can't connect the shot. Flamey taking him down, looking so on point right now. Ferocity as he gets that opening kill. Hungry for more. MSL on the angle, but he's so low. It would take a single bullet to execute him. Flamey will overpower him. NaVi always coming down to these scenarios where it's Flamey barely clutching it out.
I take back my prediction. I go with my original prediction of NaVi picking up Mirage right now because this is just on fire for the T side. North now, again, bit of a quasi, not too much money to play with, nothing to write home about as 3 armored players and a few pistols come out across the board here. Magisk being the only one not to opt for the Dirty Deagle. As NaVi, they don't play any games. They stick with the rifles. Money is not an issue at this point. They don't need to farm some cash with an SMG. No MAC-10s in play, and just in case of North's force as well, NaVi just want to play things safe and reserved. We're going to see again this aggressive position for Magisk. This time, maybe it'll work out. It didn't previously, as Flamey was perfect with the flashbangs, but aggression on all ends as Config pushes up towards the top of middle. It's Guardian posted. I've not got a lot of hope for Config here. This is a horrible angle to be in. He does bait it though. That will force Guardian to go for the shot. And now he backs off, but still gets a kill, running onto Edward with the Deagle. Nice opener, but he can't save the rifle.
Crazy stuff though, connecting that headshot, absolutely massive. They get the opening frag on the board now, they can try and back off a little bit. Wasn't able to scavenge the weapon as you said. That's gonna really affect them a little bit, but still, playing on those close angles, they just back off, hold crossfires here. They have the manpower advantage, so they can get another frag. It would be a whole lot better as well, but AZ being spotted out by Seized isn't really aware of the position, peeks into him. Now this is going to be favouring the T's very heavily as well as they work their way back through. C's not committing to anything too silly though, as he just delays towards mid. Push towards the B-bomb site is starting to come up. They're playing a contact style as they make their approach through. Config is standing by, ready to try and get these opening kills, but can he find them? Nades galore roll into the bomb site to try and aid them as they burst their way through the window, but Config, the second filthy shot with the Deagle into the round, hungry for the third, but it isn't meant to be. MSL is close by as well, wants to try and cause a stir, tapping down, trying to do his best Config impression, but it's not going that way. Simple, he's just beating them off and it falls into Magic. CZ in hand, trapped miles away. Not too much he can really achieve into this round.
No, he could grab that rifle towards the middle area earlier when Config got that 1D onto the player in top mid, and he actually does go for that. So that's a rifle grabbed on here, Edward's gun, but he's still going to have to give up the round, and that's the thing. In these positions, it's so difficult to actually go for that save, because the thing is, right, NaVi have got a round guaranteed, and you holding onto a gun is just giving another one away. Obviously, it's not a realistic, retakeable situation, but it's still very, very scary considering NaVi have now got 10 rounds out of 11 here in the first half, and North, I think a pause is going to be needed at this point. They're already having struggles. I'm not sure why it's taken them this long as well. It's been a long streak of rounds. It's not like they've been back and forth and neither team stayed out the economy. NaVi has cemented their place into this T side, and even if the impossible happens and they lose the next 4 rounds, it's not going to be an issue. 10 rounds is huge for a terrorist side on Mirage.
It's true. It's looking good. North have realised they need to try and switch up their playstyle now and adapt and try and sort things out. So they are going to go for a tactical pause and try and sort things out. I mean, obviously, if we look at them there, they do have money to play with going into this following round, so at least they do have a healthy economy off the back of this pause, and it's probably the right time to try and go for it as well. I'd say possibly even a little bit too late at this point.
Yeah, I did just say it, and I agree. It's a bit late. They can bring in the double up. They have a lot of cash into this run. We've seen that already poured out in play, but it didn't work out too well. Cajun got the first pick, and then other than that, I didn't think we saw any AWP kills, aside from obviously holding off into the window room when C's walked in backwards. So, yeah, by and large, North really not having too much effect so far. It's coming down to Flamey really stepping up. He had a bit of an issue in the first map, but he's currently leading the team with 13 and 6. Symbol close behind, 13 and 4. And yeah, just really good performance across the board from NaVi. We were hoping that we'd see players like Flamey and Guardian step up. And while Guardian's not exactly leading, he's doing absolutely fine with that AWP. And again, back onto Flamey. He is stomping here. He is just completely opposite of what we saw over on Cobblestone. I think that's one of the reasons they're having so much success.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we need to see, is just moments of individual prowess coming out. Some prolific fragger, just anyone picking up that title and being able to get those opening kills. And obviously, as we jump back in, it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue that, or if North will suddenly get a second win behind them. Obviously, they've had this pause. The double up setup comes out once again. Last time we didn't really see anything to write home about, but Cajun B didn't really even get a chance to use it. He was executed in the first couple of seconds of the round towards that A bomb site. This time, will it be a different story? Cajun B once again playing close towards A, going to be holding from ticket box with the AWP. Can he find these opening frags though, or will NaVi punish him once again? Focusing towards ramp though, as they set themselves up, they will burst their way in. Now aware, misses the opening shot as he tries to go back for more, will take down Flamey. That's the fragger that's been doing so much work for NaVi, taken away in the first few seconds of the round. The rotate coming in as well as they try and ward them off.
A double AWP setup, difficult for the retake, so maybe another pick will be required here from the north side. We've seen NaVi being excellent at holding on to these post plants so far, and long may it continue. The smoke goes down just to hold Cajun B from that position, and Magic still playing close. They haven't got the smoke left for jungle, and this is an issue. They can't cross. AZ's going to be there. Magic as well. It's going to be very difficult, and as the smoke start to dissipate towards the CT spawn, we have all the breathing room in the world for North. They can just peek out to their heart's content. As Cajun, he hunts in again, looking for another frag here. There's Edward out in the open, and he might be able to get himself a free kill. As actually attempt to cross onto the site, but look at the position of Seized. He's found himself deep in towards middle. He can split in through the connector, and if he times this one right, North may not be aware. They do have a player just close by, that is Magisk, but still Seized's position is pivotal to the push of NaVi. If he can get himself a frag or two, that could open things up, and he will get the first one. Magisk does fall, but there's still a player over in window he needs to remove from the equation. No AWP, as I said, and now AG, he does manage to retaliate. One quick kill, Edward does get one as well, but Config is going to be dropping him, so North, they've picked it up. 2 rounds finally on the board, and the double AWP, frankly, having a huge impact.
Yeah, that was great. 2 frags to either of the AWP that they used into that round. The thing is as well, as you said, as soon as those smokes dissipated, they now had nothing that was restricting them as that playstyle. They could easily go for those opening frags, and they used that range advantage quite heavily. As soon as there was a gap, they executed. They got those opening kills, left not broken, getting that opening kill as well. Carry his way through the last remaining players, and they close it down at that point. Obviously, this time around, NaVi going to be aware of this setup being in play. They're kind of trying to adapt their playstyle. Config focusing heavy towards the B-bomb site, but he's going to be peeking into the crosshair of an angle held by Guardian. He doesn't miss those, beats him down, and gets the opening kill onto the backpack of NaVi.
Still 1 AWP to play with on Cajun, but that is a key fragger removed from the side of North. Someone that had a lot of effect in the previous one. MSL actually going to retrieve the AWP just to post himself up, but at least he has the option of swapping back to the rifle if needed. But he is on the wrong side of the map, so probably should stick with that rifle, at least going for this retake if NaVi do manage to gain control of the site. And it's looking likely they had the smoke set up again. The issue is this time they need to push with it. They can't allow North to wait out and then losing the control, especially considering they don't have re-smokes to this position. But we're going to see the push finally come through. Cajun looking for the opener. He lands it. Edward will fall. That's a great start, but North, they need a little bit more. Cajun will land it. This is perfect so far. He's just looking for a third. He's going to miss it, but the Molotov are forcing him out into the open. He's got the support from Magisk to at least take down the next player. Simple's head is swept off, and Guardian, bad time as he zooms out. The bomb is dropped in the open as well, but he's trying to retrieve something here for the side of NaVi.
So awkward there with the timings. He was caught with his pants down. The nade fumble coming out. 1 versus 4 to play over as well as he starts to back off. Aware there could be a snake in his boot coming from T-Spawn. Obviously, slow approach will be MSL, hoping to go for the backstab, but also keep him closed in, so he cannot try and get out of there. The bomb down such an awkward location with 10 seconds left to play with. He has to react fast if he's going to be able to do anything. Not much utility to play with on the CT side, but they just have the manpower, so they can peek him. Guardian, another miss. I didn't realize he had ordered up some apple crumble.
I love it though. North, reactive play. They have the player boosted up on the box over towards the site. As soon as he misses, we see the double peek straight away from Stairs and Jungle. Not a second of waiting. They both have such confidence in each other. They know the setup. They know they both just need to peek at the same time. And while he's exposed in the open outside of ramp, he just gets overrun. And to be honest, when you've got 2 players facing you, sometimes you do miss those crucial shots because you don't know who to aim at. Your brain's telling you one, your arm's telling you the other. You know, it's difficult. As now we see NaVi 10 rounds to 3. Again, aggression down middle. This time it's going to be AZ and Magisk. A bait from AZ, and Magisk just peeks out, takes himself one, goes for a second with the spray control. Surprisingly not working out. Typically the man that can land those shots, but Seized will come back in with the AWP. Not typically the man for that gun, but he makes it work. As 2 players remain for North, it's going to be the rotation coming back on in. The bomb plant's gone down over on the A site, and Config catching the stray lurker over towards middle as Guardian's found over in the ladder room. It's Config now to looking for a little bit more, but this close position from Seized is excellent.
Holding a close angle. The AWP. It's going to be awkward, but let's see if he can find the frag. But Config peeks into him. It was an AWP versus AWP fight that would have been awkward either way, but Config connecting the headshot, immediately leaving just Simple in the situations where normally he can excel. The smokes go through to try and draw him off. The peek comes out, headshot upon MSL, hungry for more as well, tapping down, gets out of there. There was no execution from Config, goes back, takes the fight. He had the drop upon Config, beats him down whilst he was completely unawares that it was even going down like that, grabs the AWP as well that he can pass over. Simple, absolutely great play.
That's great as well. Just phenomenal for him to push out through the smoke. And the thing is, at the end of the day, the time was so low anyway, he had no requirement of doing that, but he went for it just for the style points. Great stuff from NaVi. 11 rounds to 3. They managed to pull it back finally, and Seized actually having some work with the AWP after playing it off of the spawn. It's now Cajun to pick that up for the CT side. Nazy with a very fast underpass control round. It's going to be Seized to spot out. Nice quick kill. Lands a headshot onto the man himself. And now he can back off towards connector. He's got a bit of support towards window occasion with the glass cannon AWP. And North, 5 on 4 just to start off the round. This is good.
Really brutal. That's a great opener. Eliminating Seized just like that. Obviously, you can see NaVi starting to reposition as well, approaching what will be, it seems, a late round B take. Using that utility towards mid to still try and set the idea, just give away some kind of seed of doubt make North think they're still stationed over there, whilst it will be a late round contact towards that B-bomb site. They've got a lot of utilities play over as well, so if they want to go for the smokes over, but the talking point is MSL, up close and personal. This angle being held with the Famas, he doesn't have the best amount of range to play with, but Simple, that is so sexy as he lands the headshot, the entry in towards the B-bomb site as well, as they now just want to keep that pain train rolling. Config firing back though, as he connects not one but two headshots, hungry for the third as well. Tries to get the hat trick, but Guardian returns to form. Will beat him down as they slip their way through. AZ though starts to go crazy as he picks off one against Simple. Guardian, is this the Guardian we wanted to see? Unfortunately not. Magic's able to overpower him. 11-4 will be the scores on the door. North struggling in map 2. Can they return to form on the second half? Find out after the break. Back everyone. Obviously, what this time around, the complete flip side of what we saw previously over on Cobblestone, right? NaVi just tearing their way through round after round of domination. Obviously, North, they've had a couple of rounds to play with, but even then, 4-11, obviously the same scoreline, but on the other foot.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, because I feel like the first map, at least when we saw NaVi only get 4 rounds, was not just due to the fact that North were playing great, obviously, and we saw MSL stepping up, for example. It was also NaVi kind of not really performing at the level we expected. Now going into this map, I think it's the opposite. I think it's NaVi really stepping above. I don't think it's North so far having as bad setups. It's more so NaVi just looking so calculated. In every single kill, there's always a refrag. And in fact, more. Simple's been going off, Flamey's been performing outstandingly, and frankly, NaVi are just getting those opening kills. And this is what I said. I said we go onto this map, we go onto their T side, and it's honestly just dangerous to see NaVi on the T side of Mirage. This is a map they, it's their bread and butter. They love this map. Of course, they're going to be dangerous, and they definitely have been.
It's true, and that's the thing. That's sort of been the change of pace as well. Everyone's starting to pop off for that side. We've seen a lot of improvements overall. Guardian still not really seeming like the Guardian of old, though. A little bit shaking some of the rounds. Obviously, passing the AWP over to Seized at one point. I'm not too sure if that was off the spawn. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense since that was obviously he took it back in the following round. But it feels like they're definitely working their way back into a good situation, though. You know, that first map, it just seemed like no one was on point. Now they're all starting to wake up. Flamey especially sort of been dragging them by their coattails, trying to slap them and get them to get more energetic at this point.
Yeah, and we're both eating our words, assuming that North will be able to 2-0 this. Is a completely different NaVi. Very, very good job so far. But obviously it's not done. The series isn't closed. We do have the pistol round ahead of us in just a second. And if North can pick that one up, it's definitely a road to success. If they can have a dominant T side that we have seen before previously, they could definitely bring this one to not only a close game, but maybe even close it and bring it over the line. It's going to be a tough task, though, being only 4 rounds on that CT side, but it's always possible.
It's true. It's always possible. It'll be interesting to see if that pistol round is going to go the way of North. Obviously, they have ripped their way through in some of the previous ones. They're always looking good when it comes down to their pistol wielding ability. Simple though, someone that you never really want to count out with the aggression towards top mid. Will take down MSL after a little bit of a fluster. Edward as well, holding with an advantage angle. He has the high ground as he takes down the Padawans down below, leaving Cajun B and Co to try and clear this one back.
He's going to be rushing right into the connector. Doesn't check the close angle. That's unfortunate, and Simple will just punish him for that. Guardian as well, dropping AZ towards the A site. And NaVi, what a flawless pistol round. They are going to make it work. Absolutely tearing apart North, and this is just the same as Cobblestone, but this time in reverse. So North now having to force things up here. We see some pistols in play. NaVi sticking with the SMGs, the ballsy play as they usually do. We've actually got a couple of rifles in play though, just to see. Very similar to the T-side buy, and this is what I like. A lot of teams we've been seeing 4 or 5 SMGs. I feel like that's unnecessary. I like the double rifle, triple SMG buy. That is my personal favourite. On most maps, obviously, it does vary, but on maps like Mirage, you have really no need to go for a 5-man SMG. It's just risky towards areas like middle. Magic's going to show right why as he takes the opening kill onto C's down in towards the B site.
Guardian trying to retaliate with that Famas as he slips his way through. Flamey as well, elevated angle, easy headshot coming through upon Cajun B, hungry for more, but MSL can utilize that deagle, takes him down, and they're on that main bomb site for free. The welcome mat is there, just in the nick of time they get the bomb plant as well. Simple trying to retaliate. Easy pickings though as he slides his way in, connecting the headshot upon MSL, and it's now just Config left. The 1 versus 2, an achievable round at this point, as he does have that deagle that he's got just so much prowess with. He's looked so flamboyant into the previous rounds when he has the weapon in his hands, tries to peek out, struggling a little bit, connects one shot upon Simple, but he hasn't taken him down just yet. And Simple holding the angle, will switch out to his secondary, finally execute, and that's a 4K for Simple.
Great round indeed. Lucky to see him pick up that M4 sorry, into that round instead of the SMGs. Had great effect. And NaVi 13-4. Bomb plant for North going to give them a little bit more cash, but forcing up into that second round is going to mean they still have one more eco ahead of them before they commit to their full buy. And that will allow NaVi to get to 14 rounds. That's a great affair as well. 14 rounds before we even see the full buy for North. It's a difficult scenario to be in, but at least it's not 15, right? Got something to play with, a bit of a buffer.
That's true. Do you think Simple likes the colour green?
I think he's a big fan.
It seems like it, and it'll be green with envy after they actually pick this one up, if they continue playing like this, as they've just been taking down every round right now. And Guardian trying to hold towards ramp will get the opener this time around as the peak comes through, but he quickly back slaps them. AZ is going to fall. Magic's as well being taken down by Seas over towards that B-bomb site. The last 3 remaining players taking these deagles, just peeking into Guardian. It's frag after frag for Guardian. Easy pickings, but there's Config with the deagle. Never count him out when he has that weapon in his hands. Simple will eventually finish him though. Scavenge the AWP as well. NaVi getting ever closer to match point. But finally, the cash has arrived. The AK buys can come out.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about Guardian in the first half not having too much effect. The thing is, he didn't really shine off like some of the other players, but he's currently 16-10, doing absolutely fine really on the scoreboard. And no one's having a bad day. Caesar's at the bottom, but he's still 10-9, so it's not exactly an issue for NaVi. And obviously, the scoreline does present that very, very well. As you can see, this fast mid-play come out from the Guardian, trying to look for an opening kill as he drops down in towards window. Repositioning back into the connector and waiting for this push to come out. They're going to start to make their way up short. He needs to check the timing. He needs to check to the short angle, but they will actually just peek right onto him. Config takes that opening frag, looking for more, but the smoke going to incapacitate them from getting any more information. It will be able to do the damage through the smoke, but that's not enough. But look at the position of Config. He can easily dive into that window just to try and get something into the back of NaVi, be that snake in the grass, and he will do exactly that as he forces his way into the position. But in the meantime, AZ, he's found himself over on stairs, quick through the connector, as he's really upset NaVi in this round.
Yeah, this isn't good so far. Obviously, a 2 versus 4. They're outnumbered massively into this one. They don't have the man advantage. They can try and grab that M4 to at least upgrade Edward. That's going to make some noise. Will do so in the end. Sees as well, trapped towards that B bomb site. The push is coming towards him. They're hunting. North are playing this smart. They're trying to wean out the man numbers and force them to go for these rebuys. If they get around here with 5 casualties over on that CT side and they pick this round up, it's going to be so big for them. MSL and Magics make the push together as they peek in. Easy frag should come out. Seas will fall. The execution upon Edward as well. Config will take that one. And there you have it. They do close it out, denying match point being claimed by NaVi. A reset comes into play. And good stuff for North, actually.
Definitely. Right when they needed to pick up a round, they go and do it. And that really hurts the economy. So NaVi are going to be going, and then they will eventually be buying up in the upcoming round. But actually investing quite a lot into this, at least in terms of utility. A 4 nade stack potentially towards ramp as they go for that A stack early on. But North really aren't playing too heavily off the spawns. Fairly passive. Wait for this push, and actually this could be good for the NaVi side. You can see we've got 5 nades, we've got a full set of players on North aside from 1 in middle. That's going to be MSL. The rest of them making their way in towards the ramp and palace area here. And if these guys go for the nade stack at the right point, this could be perfect. But already AZ going to be peeking right out. There we go, dry peek, and AZ makes it work. 4 headshots, that is huge. Doesn't even need the help of his teammates. His Config eventually cleans up the last one as he finds the kill onto Guardian. But it's North to pick up a 6th round on the board, and a great anti-eco at that.
Yeah, that's mental. Just the confidence on display there as tore his way through. Fantastic spray transfer, headshot after headshot as he just dispatched everyone. Obviously, it was an eco, but still a great round to go through flawlessly like that as they get themselves a little bit of money to play with as they work their way through. It was much needed. NaVi as well, though. They do have money to play with. The buys will be coming out. They walk back on Guardian. Everyone else with limited utility, but it's fairly useful as they try and lock this round down. Aggression on short, though, very early on. MSL will be leading the charge. Flashbang through the smoke, tries to take the aggression. Can he get the opener? Being pelted from both sides, but is able to stay alive. AZ will blow Simple out the server as well. Cajun B also punishing Guardian. The AWP is now gone for NaVi, and this seems like North have really started to find their footing.
Yeah, looking like a long road ahead, but they're doing it as of yet. A site control got to be under their grasp as Na'Vi looking to probably go for the exit frags into this round, maybe even just full on saving, to be honest. The thing I don't like about saving is some people save so aggressively. I don't understand it in this position because the bomb's not even down, nor to have all this chasing time, but late into the round, Na'Vi just need to reposition, move away and try and hold on to these guns because it's so risky. If they lose a player here, they cannot reinvest around 2 guns. That's very difficult. Obviously, it's likely they may go for it, but they won't have full rifles. So North looking to hunt. We can see MSL's going to be chasing in through the market here with a bit of support as well from one of his teammates. So may eventually find some of these Na'Vi players. But I like the setup here from the CT side. They've actually got 2 towards ladder room. That's a bit of an unexpected saving angle as well. You'd expect all this B-apps and underpass control, but actually there's only 1 player there. That is seized. So regardless, going to be the round to North. And slowly but surely going to be crawling back into this match.
So NaVi as well into this round, obviously getting punished. North starting to get a couple of rounds on the trot. You've got to wonder what the idea will be here, if they'll try and go for that pause, try and lock things down, as they need to switch things up. It just seems really awkward right now. Obviously it will be a tech pause coming in though, so they can try and sort out an issue. So they won't really be talking about stuff too much. This does kind of slow down the momentum a little bit of North though, to try and eliminate them getting sort of that high behind them, the potential of them really getting too hot to handle.
Yeah, for sure. Again, while it is realistic that they could manage to go back and pick up the map, I still feel like it's such a big task to ask with them getting the next, you know, what, 8-9 rounds in a row to even win this, and that's not even including overtime as a possibility. It's a really hard task on that unfavored side. They have been doing very well early on, but again, all it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes to allow NaVi to get themselves a 15th. And once we have a 15th guaranteed, we have a guarantee of overtime. So even if NaVi do slip up, they have a little bit of leeway to fall back on. They have that buffer in OT. Dangerous as it is, it's still going to be better than losing out on the map 16-14 after a crazy comeback.
It's true. They want to just try and work their way through. And obviously the thing is as well, though, as much as it is a long grind to get through, they're showing signs of not really slowing down. I mean, 7-14 right now. It's still going to be another 7 rounds before they get themselves into an equal footing. But there's potential at this point. Every time NaVi get cash to play, we've obviously been on that CT side as well, it's quite easy to break that economy. And the thing is, they're investing quite heavily as soon as they have money to play with, and then just not being able to do anything with it. Guardian, when he's been getting that AWP out, in rounds that it hasn't been as critical for him to get frags, he's been able to, but impact frags early. We saw KGB just being able to overpower him. AZ as well has just really started to get invigorated. It's more so of what we were talking about when AZ used to have that stop potential phase before he was kind of locked down. It's cool to see. That's why he works so well on North, because he is utilized as that star fragger. You want to send him towards the site and let him get those entries, he can, and that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it could go either way right now. It's just going to depend on whether North can stay on top of the economy of NaVi. If they can keep beating them down, forcing them into these ecos, they technically only have to win another 4 or 5 proper buy rounds before we actually see this comeback. We're going to go back into the game. Guardian and Simple not choosing to invest around these rifles. Simple will buy up a bit of armor to support his Deagle, as he usually does, but Guardian mainly just saving here with a P250 and an HE, playing rather reserved, as the rest of NaVi obviously going to have a bit to work with, but by and large, it's going to look another dominant affair for North on our hands.
I think North definitely should pick this round up. Flamey does kick it off with a bit of a bang though. Comes in shutting down Cage and B. They want to try and do something else as well, but Config able to overpower Simple towards the A bomb site. They won't get anything else to play with just yet. Edward tried to utilize his position to get the opening frag over by Connector, but MSL, very easy for him to pick this one up, and now it is basically as good as done already. C's trapped on short, Guardian as well playing close on the site, with a measly B250 in his hands. What really did you expect?
No, it should just be a clean round for North here. Config could eventually go down. I could drop something here for the T side, but to be honest, I don't imagine NaVi getting too much. Config will be playing fairly reserved as he is tagged up. And we can see C is chasing, but the one chance for NaVi to even do any kind of damage has already been removed as MSL finds his head, and Guardian tapping away with his P250, trusty gun. He will land 1 kill, an AK dropped, but even if he saves that, it's a small victory for NaVi. At the end of the day, though, they will be able to buy into the upcoming round. They've had this eco, they've had this save. So a bit of cash injected into their bank account. It's going to be $2,900 loss bonus. And oh, well, Guardian can't even save, but at least they can still buy up regardless, right?
Yeah, at least they have money to play with. Obviously, they'll work their way through. 6k almost as they get that buyout. Simple, not looking too healthy with his economy, but he'll still be able to squeeze it out. And obviously, that's the thing as well coming into this. You wonder if that's going to come back to bite him. He does have to go for the UMP buy. They can go for utility as well on him, though. It's not too bad. Meanwhile, North, they're looking good. They're looking ferocious as they keep linking these rounds together. Going to go for this default once more towards mid. Obviously, you just got to wonder, are NaVi going to be able to step it up? As already, the tag comes in, Guardian not down to 50 HP. It's not a great way to try and start this round.
Not at all. They barely doing anything on the Cajun as well, despite him being so pushed up in the apartments. Posted with the AWP as Seized is unable to do any kind of significant damage to kick off the round, and North already with some aggressive mid-control. The lack of, well, really Guardian's presence in towards middle is going to allow North to push all the way up, and Config actually getting the opener onto Simple over towards the Palace area is going to be a good kicker for North. They may be able to claw their way back. As you can see, they've taken the connect control that will allow them to push up towards short here, and maybe even split into the window room if they take ladder control, but Edward smoking off short for the time being. Oh, this boost could be perfect. No one's even holding it. The North players just don't seem to be aware, and MSL, he's going to drop the bomb. That's perfect. Edwards dropped the first player. It's a 4-on-4 again now for NaVi. But still North have control of the bomb. They are going to be able to pick it back up. There's no one peeking in from short this time, but Flamey a close position. Config gets the opener, and North back in the driving seat.
Great way to try and kick this round off. Magics as well, though, can go for the backstab potentially here, but Seized will remove that chance, eliminate him. Config, though, taking down Guardian in the meantime, leaves them in a 2 versus 3. An awkward round as they are outnumbered. The push coming through. Config as well, wielding that AK fantastically as he lands the headshot, lobotomizing Seized, leaving it just on Edward to try and back off and stay out of there. No reason to throw that M4 away. Why would he?
4 kills to Config that round. Hunting for the ace, I can barely blame him, but not going to be in position to do so. That's very unfortunate. I do love a good old ace here in EPL, but NaVi just going to be holding on to one single gun for this round. It seems like he will get away with it as well, as no one is hunting him from this position as he sits in towards a T-spawn. While we do see Cajun exit towards the ramp, I'm sure he'll go and join his teammate. Very, very risky to exit on your own with an AWP, but he's just going to go for it safely. I doubt he'll push too far into T-spawn, and even if he does, he can always back off. He doesn't need to commit to the fight on Edward anyway. So 8 rounds now for North. I think once we hit maybe 10, no rounds, maybe 10 or 11, we'll start to kind of consider this as a possible comeback. At this point, it's still kind of unsure at the moment. Once they hit 10 or 11, NaVi's economy will still be weak, so yeah, realistically, North could pull this back, and judging by the economy of NaVi going into this round, again, it's going to be a bit of an investment, but they're saving some money.
True. They need to try and pump everything they have into it. Guardian as well, just with the Deagle. No real utility, though. They've only got the one smoke that's now been used a couple of seconds into the round. They're going to try and use that aggression. They have to do something a bit more shock and awe into this, as they can't really play it out like a full round. They don't have the utility to complement that style of play. MSL, though smart, just backs off, now knows the information that he gains from them. They know that they've gone for that push. Has teammates to work with as well if he wants to try and go for the play towards the A bomb site and try and go for the backstab. Sees Flamey's feet as well. That's an easy kill as he takes him down. Obviously, he had the better angle in that scenario. Simple now, hoping to try and get a retaliation frag. Will peek round, obviously transferring a lot of damage, but his teammates are still getting picked off, and he will follow suit as well. Config executes him as he had the drop on him, leaving just Seized and Edward left. I mean, this is atrocious.
Yeah, this is falling apart. Again, this is a bit of a throwaway round from NaVi. They saved 2k in the bank of most of these players, and combined with a $3,400 loss bonus, they will still be able to buy up into the upcoming round. So it's not too much of a loss, but still, you'd like to think they could get something done right, because all North are doing are just padding their bank accounts right now. If NaVi were getting 2-3 kills a round, it could at least, you know, stunt the growth of North's money, but it's just not. It's just going up and up and up. And now NaVi really having no effect is going to mean North are not going to be ecoing at all for the rest of this game. If NaVi can even do damage, it's still going to be only, you know, very, very close to North. So I'm getting quite worried now for NaVi. We're up to 10 rounds. We're into a proper buy next round, which is going to be the one to watch out for. And if NaVi don't pick it up, if it does go 14 to 11, I think a comeback is on the horizon.
There's definitely potential as they work their way into it. Edward, though, trying to do some damage, but Config with an easy frag. There's Magics as well as he takes him down. I mean, it just looks dominant right now as they're working their way through so easily. I mean, North, they're really going to need to try and slow them down. And now that tactical pause comes into effect, this is a lot smarter, obviously, from NaVi. You try and not only stunt the momentum a little bit, North, obviously, they're quite budding right now. They're getting these frags back to back. You slow them down at this point, and also you can discuss what you want to do going into it. They also have the most money they've had so far, so the buyers will be coming in, skimping on utility still, once again, slightly. They have a couple more smokes player, that's better than last time. And the thing is, the double AWP setup's been brought into play. One on Guardian, one on Simple. Simple, that secondary AWPer that could also be spoke as, you know, the main AWPer at times. He is ridiculous when it comes down to his flicking potentials.
And the main player in the server right now, he's currently second in the whole server and first for the team. 23 kills on the man himself. Guardian only on 1 kill. Obviously, he's not really been having a great game, as you can see. 3 deaths, though. He's really been staying alive, doing a lot of saving here on the side of NaVi. You know, an effective player. He's really keeping the economy high.
He's found a lot of cubby holes. He's been slipping in there. It's been good. Obviously, that's one of the benefits. You
know that glitch corner in CT spawn? Yeah, they brought that back in just for this event, so Guardian could hold on to his stats. Very important to keep that HLTV rating at a high at all points.
It's very true. And let's see, though, if these AWPs will boost that rating, if they can connect some Fantastic shots to try and kick this round off, and capitalized. One to watch will definitely be Simple, as getting that ult back in his hands, he is going to be raring to go to show just what he is made of, as he takes the aggression towards mid early on, but his teammates do the damage for him. Edward finding the frag upon MSL is a great way to kick it off. Simple as well, playing slow and calm as he just waits for the peaks to come towards him. Will miss that opening shot, but Config now aware. You can see him trying to back off because he knows that Simple is playing so close to him. The rest of his teammates as well being eliminated as everyone just starts to hit the deck. Cajun as well, trying to wield his own up towards that B bomb site, struggling, switches out to his secondary though, and things get easier for him. Cajun as well now doubles it up as he slips his way onto the bomb site. A round that looked like it was over, Hugo. Back into a 2 versus 2. So much potential to work with as Cajun backing off, repositioning, waiting, hoping a peek will come out from Guardian so we can take him down, but he barely misses here. Has to reposition once more as the fight comes in. His teammate trying to get over there, but Cajun single-handedly doing it. A hat-trick already. Flamey, the last man left standing for the side of NaVi. Can he deny this? Can he stop them from picking up this round and getting an 11th on the board? Try and claim that match point. Cajun so smart. No reason to peek. Has the backup of Config as well. Goes for the no-scope. Doesn't quite connect it. Flamey, time is ticking away, and he's lost his head.
5 on 2. 5 on 2. NaVi just throw away a 5 on 2. And the one round they needed as well. If they picked that one up, it could have stopped North. But now, to be honest, I'm believing the North is here. Can you hear the roar, Jackie? The roar is going on right now because they're up to 11 rounds, forcing NaVi into an eco. All NaVi had to do was close out a 5 on 2, and they would have been back in this game looking like, well, they're ready to win it eventually with the 15 rounds coming in. That would have been a guaranteed OT, even if they did choke the last few. But now going into this one, I've not got a lot of confidence for the guys over on the CT side. They've got some pistols, they've got some armor. It should be another done deal. North have had no issue with shutting down full buys. I don't think pistols is going to be anything different either. As you can see, Magisk going to be opening things up, takes down Seized. Aggression still in towards middle here from Flamey, but there's 2 players just posted, holding the angle. He won't be able to go for anything. Eventually will back off towards the A site, and that is going to be the right call to make, because North positioning the bomb back in towards T-spawn, looking to try and get this opener onto the site. There's going to be one over on stairs. That is Flamey going for the peak, spotted by Config, and his head just removed off of his body. NaVi are falling short.
MSL as well, follow-up frag upon Guardian, just leaving Edward and Simple to try and do something, anything, to try and slow them down, as they're just getting torn to shreds. It's frag after frag of just complete prowess. They're overpowering their opposition. NaVi have no answers to try and deal with it. Simple will chime in though, gets the opening headshot, but AZ, of course, will respond. Edward, a moment of silence for him, as he should be taken down, as MSL will find the frag. Easy headshot as he snaps round. And NaVi, they need to come back into this. They need to try and work their way through. Obviously, they had so much of a buffer. It was 7-14 when North started going on this dominant streak. Now look at them. All of these rounds back to back. That's 8 rounds on the trot as they work their way through. So close, 2 rounds away now from equalizing the scoreline. And that is a scary factor for NaVi.
This is ridiculous. It was 4-14. 4-14! What is this? This is crazy. Single AWP in play. Simple's not going to be on that this time, but to be honest, I feel like maybe just go for a more passive approach, a bit of a safer one with Guardian just on the solo up. We've got Edward over towards short. And frankly, NaVi need to pick up this round, because if they don't, it's going to be an eco, putting North up to another round ahead, putting them up to 14-14 before NaVi again go for the buy. So at least they have one more to fall back on after this, but still 14-14 and only just going for the buy, that is a bit close for comfort here. So they really need to try and get a bit of a lead while they can, get that 15th round in ASAP. But North playing this one tactical, playing this one slow as they take their way towards the top of middle. We have this aggression over in apps as well, as Magisk going to be pushed up here with the AK. And they could easily split up towards the short area with the smoke going down a window. That will incapacitate Guardian from that position. Instead, they've got the focus towards shorts, but the CT smoking it off. It's Edward there, not going for the boost this time, but it's MSL to look for an elevated angle. Nothing will present itself, and North just look like they want to hit into this B site so obviously, but finally this boost is going to come out, and it could be huge.
Oh, the counter boost in play as well. Edward elevated right now, hoping to do some damage. AZ can retaliate though. Very easy for him to find that kill upon him. Cajun B another one as well, making it so much easier as they slip their way towards the bomb site. Guardian needs to do so much damage now to try and pick this one up. Guardian starts to go back to some of his more recent form where he can tear his way through. Config though executing his teammates. Guardian close, but no cigar. Config will take him down. Another round into the buffer of North, 13-14, and this should be the 14th snipped up as well. This is not good.
Config is on 32 kills right now. He is dragging North across the finish line by the back of their hair. He is pulling them. This is ridiculous. He is absolutely stomping. I'm not even sure if that's a glitch or if that's real, Jackie. This is crazy from Config. He is just destroying Na'Vi right now. We're going into another bit of a light buy here, but considering they have the $3,400 loss bonuses they have for the last 10 goddamn rounds, they are going to be able to buy up in the next round regardless, only investing half of their cash. As you can see, Blamey's playing close. He spots him. Magisk opens it up again. AZ's dinked in the process, but it doesn't matter because MSL, he's pushed so far into the CT spawn. Simple will be there, though. There's a quick retaliation frag, but he needs to double down. He needs to make it worth their while because North, they do have full control over the A site. Guardian coming in as well. Bomb plant going to go down. He's just stopping it though by the nick of time. He actually gets a kill. This is big now. While Cajun can come in with a flank, AZ's still low. He can't expose himself in the middle of the site because it will only take one swift bullet to remove him from the server. The boost not going to be working out. And Magisk pulling it back, but not for long.
The kill comes in from KGB as well, leaving just one player left on the side of Na'Vi. It's just C's to try and close this one out. He could potentially take them to match point right now if he can pick this round up. Peek in towards KGB though. Don't try and take the fight to that man. The AWP proves far too strong as he takes him down. Now though, North, realizing that they have done the hard part. They get themselves to 14-14. They make the call to go for a tactical pause to try and make sure they're set and they're confident and they know their strategy working into what could potentially be their match point round. The thing is, they've had a nigh on flawless half. The pistol rounds and the ones linked to that were taken by Na'Vi. Off the back of that, we've seen 10 rounds in a row for North. They came into this with 4 rounds to play with, now 14 on the board. They have an equal scoreline with Na'Vi, 2 away from closing this out and getting both maps in the series.
I predicted this, you know. I did say North were going to pick Mirage. I did switch my prediction after Na'Vi's first half, but we won't talk about that one. That doesn't matter, right? It's irrelevant. So, yeah, I knew this was happening. This is absolutely crazy, though.
It's true. You're diving around all over the place, mate. Switching things all over. But Na'Vi, they're definitely not out in these rounds. They have had a couple of close affairs. It's just been... The economy was broken in quite a few rounds there, so obviously the whole story hasn't really been on display. Now coming into this, once again though, they don't have that potential to get the double AWP setup out. Even when they had it, they weren't really able to do too much with it. And
the fact that North still have almost max money on most of the players here just shows how many players they've been keeping alive. Na'Vi, while they have been doing a bit of damage in the odd round, by and large, they've been allowing 3/4 players to stay alive here for the T side, and that's huge. If you want to lose rounds, well, not want to lose rounds, but if you're going to lose rounds here on the CT side, you need to get that damage. You need to stop the Ts from growing their cash, because it's so easy to buy up on the T side with the obviously cheap nades. You don't have the need for kits, everything like that. It's just so cheap. But let's go into this one, the important round here, the decider, and Guardian finally going to strike into middle. He opens things up. MSL will fall.
MSL being taken down is definitely an awkward affair, but burnt to a crisp. It's going to be a Guardian barbecue as he gets sent off by AZ. That's not a great way to kick this round off. 1 minute and 30 left to play over as well, so early casualties for either side here. The T's, though, favoured into this scenario, and as well, look at the utility on Na'Vi. No smokes to play with, 2 measly flashbangs, only 2 players have kits as well, so it could be very awkward into a late round retake if North are able to find control of one of the bomb sites. Stacked quite heavily towards A as well, with a late round backstab coming through mid. It is going to be a very heavy fight, but you imagine they should be able to overpower on that bomb site as well. No AWPs to play with since Guardian has been dispatched. They have to use these rifles to ward off the opposition. And these troublesome terrorists getting themselves set up, lining up with their smokes as well. Obviously, they have an abundance of utility to play with. They're complemented into this round. They can set themselves up, block the line of sights for the CT, slip their way in when they're at a disadvantage, when they're confused about what's really going on. Simple as well right now, trying to ward them back off as Cajun gets an opener, makes it one better. That's another member of the CT's taken down. These Molotovs as well coming into effect. Force Simple to peek. He'll be executed by Config, and once again it's Edward and C's to try and retaliate.
Edward coming in from the spawn, the smoke will go down, that will hold him back for the time being, but still, they haven't got the bomb plant. He is alone though, that will be a short plant as well. He can't even deny it here. 20 seconds on the clock and they just get it down as well. Na'Vi are really at an end's rut. As you can see, Edward is stuck in towards the spawn. He has the kit to play with, but to be honest, they are just spamming his position away. He could go for some kind of late round ninja, but really, North have no reason to even stray off the bomb site. They have all the money to rebuy everyone here, and he's going to go for the peak. Will actually land one onto Config, but it's a small victory in the eyes of North, or in Na'Vi, sorry, as there are still 3 players alive, and Magisk, he's just going to be there. This is just unorthodox crazy. North, 15 rounds. I don't know what to say, Jackie. This is just over. Na'Vi surely going to fall short. The money is still at the max loss bonus, obviously, here, but it's not going to be enough to buy. 3,400 on its own is going to only result in 4 Famises, 1 M4, no kits, and barely any utility.
4 Famises. I've not seen that in a very long time. That's how bad the economy is at this point. Awkward for them, as obviously, even at the best of times, they haven't been able to shut down this North lineup that has been monstrous. These Danes have been just tearing their way through round after round of destruction coming out from them. And NaVi right now left in a very awkward situation. What can they actually bring to the table here? Utility as well, it's been broken all these rounds, and that's the thing. They can't even try and run the clock down and delay North, as they just have no way of doing so.
Anti-flashing for Guardian, he's more so holding underpass as C supports his top middle. Eventually he could go for some kind of pick play here, but again, North are holding back, so if Guardian pushes up, he could be full faced with the Cajun B AWP in play, which would have been would be a horrible pick to go the way of North. Be very unfortunate if NaVi lost out on that man advantage, but they only have one player towards B at the meantime here. Mainly focusing in for this mid-control. Guardian looks like he wants to bite the trigger, and he will. Bites the bullet as Cajun takes the kill onto him. The headshot coming in. Edward over towards short, going to be forced away, but Simple supporting him, drops the bomb, but he gets flanked from behind. Underpass control working well, and Magisk will find another. Edward drops a second, but it's still a 2-on-2. Flamey pulls one back for the side of NaVi, but he's got a huge task ahead, and now it's all on the shoulder of Edwards. One quick kill. Magisk is found, and it's all onto AZ. The bomb's dropped towards middle. There's 40 seconds on the clock. He has time to retrieve it, and Edward wrapping in back through the CT spawn is going to give him time to at least play with, but he will be in the perfect position. AZ looking like he wants to commit towards A, and Edward's going to be coming in from the spawn. This could be OT, Jackie.
It's true, so much potential on the line if he finds this round. If Edward can execute him here, there is time for OT. If he rips his way through, Edward is going to do it. Takes down AZ. They pick it up, and we're going to be working our way into overtime. I mean, that is crazy. NaVi, it took them 10 rounds in a row, 12 rounds in a row to be able to pick anything up. It's taken so long, and at that point, you can't win the game off it. You have to go to overtime.
Watch them win in OT now. That'd be the worst for North, wouldn't it? An 11-round streak to bring it back off of a 4 rounds in the first half, and then you fall in OT. Either way, well played to NaVi for actually bringing it back, but to be honest, it's still a hard task, and I'm not going to make any predictions. Screw it, I'm throwing all my guesses out the window. Right now, no one knows what's going to be happening. North are looking dominant, but NaVi just found their first round in the last 11, so there's potential they could at least roll off for the momentum of that. There's a very good chance they could close out the map, but then again, it could go either way. Who knows?
It's true. This is kind of where things get a little bit awkward, obviously, into overtime as well. Things are a little bit more aggressive. They're kind of unpredictable. You never really know how a game in overtime is going to go, especially this far gone at this point, with both these teams having moments of inconsistency.
Yeah, and then we could see something interesting as well if we see the double AWPs in play early on. While it is risky to the economy, it can have such a great benefit because so many teams don't expect the double AWPs to come in OT, despite you having that 10k. If you go for 2 AWPs or even 1 AWP, it can severely impact your money into that second or third round, meaning you can't fully buy up and you have to go for the UMPs, which it isn't great, really. So if NaVi do bring in something surprising, they bring in that double AWP that we have seen a lot of the times. Both Simple and Guardian are doing fine at the moment. There is a potential that it could upset North and surprise them, because a lot of the time we haven't seen the money on NaVi to actually go for these kind of buys. But now we're going to go straight into 10k, where they have all the money in the world.
It's true, it's completely different at that point. As you said, obviously with that double AWP setup, you catch them off guard, but it's that risk-reward factor. If they do whip it out, there's definitely potential. I mean, we saw it utilised a couple of times in regulation time, but they didn't really do too much with it. They were struggling to get a couple of the frags on the board, potentially into OT though as well. If they get that CT half out of the way, go through with, say, 1 or 2 rounds on the board, they could definitely close it down their T half. Yeah,
definitely. So dominant over towards there. The issue is obviously, will the mental factor come into account, right? If they have a shoddy T half and then they CT half and then they go over to the T side, well, it was dominant originally. Can they continue that dominant era? Can they show that they still got this dominant T side? Obviously, it was in the first half, but again, the confidence might have slipped away. You never know. These players have been having some issues.
It's true. You got to wonder if sort of those internal issues are going to come into effect, obviously, as well, though. NaVi, they should still be kind of pumped up, but it's the fact they're going to be like, guys, we should have closed this out. We should have won. It can definitely sort of get to them if they allow it to. They have to come into this, reset into overtime, take it fresh. Don't really allow the previous regulation time to really affect your mentality is the best way. Yeah,
that being said, though, while it can hurt you, obviously, thinking about the previous half, they may just be going, relieved at least that they won that last round and bringing it to OT just by the skin of their teeth. So that could be something positive for them to think about at least. Who really knows? It's a very difficult situation to be in if you're NaVi, as well as being North, because you could have closed out that map, especially with such a sick comeback. To only throw away that last single round, it's really got to play with your mind.
It's true, it's something that will definitely get to them, and they'll be like, we should have shut it down, we had such a flawless half, and it's going wrong at that point. And the thing is, it'll just be interesting. I mean, we don't really know what style of CS they're going to play for going into this overtime. Definitely into that first round as well. You might see a bit of a scout round coming out. We saw that in the previous, yesterday, where you do want to go for a bit of a lighter buy. You try and scout out, so you're going to have money to play with. It's quite interesting, obviously, how it works out on overtime, because your economy, sure, you have a lot to play with, but it still can be easily broken. So you kind of have to adapt.
That's a good way to look at it as well, because we saw, for those who weren't here yesterday, we had Hellraisers versus G2 and Inferno, and that went to OT in the map on Inferno, and Hellraisers were on the T side, and they actually, instead of going for the full AK AK buy in the first round. They went for a triple UMP, double AK buy, and went for a really fast play. And the reason that's good, and not only did it work, but the reason that's good is because obviously if you buy up 5 AKs 2 rounds in a row, let's just forget the AWP for a second. Buy up 5 AKs 2 rounds in a row. Say you lose both those rounds, you don't have money for the third round. You have to force things up. You won't have many AKs, if any at all. Even bomb plants won't help you out too much. So going for some kind of unorthodox UMP-based buy into that first round of overtime, even if it isn't in the second and third, it can preserve some of your cash if you do lose it.
Yeah, it gives you something to play with, but let's find out what they are actually going to choose to go for as we jump our way back in. It is overtime, North versus NaVi. And guys, if you want to see that round Hugo was talking about, why don't you head on over to our YouTube channel and check out the VODs there. Subscribe whilst you're at it as well. Don't forget to ring that bell, but let's jump into it. Hugo, they will be kicking it off, obviously, overtime. The first round on the board. NaVi still on that CT side. Can they try and lock it down here? They struggled so heavily in regulation time.
Yeah, they only got one aside from the pistol and the 2 converts as a result, so this is going to be a tall order, but if they can even pick up 1 or 2, this could be phenomenal. Guardian opening things up, and there we go. This is a suddenly resurged NaVi as Edward follows up towards short, does drop MSL 1 by 1. North are being eliminated. We were expecting maybe a slow round, but it's gone the complete opposite. It's gone fast for NaVi, and it's going hard as well. Guardian's got himself a second. Magisk unable to get that trade. He isn't spotted. He crosses, and Guardian just sees him as he makes his way over towards Tetris. Going to be aware of this one. Flamey supporting as well, and that'll be it. Flawless round. Why didn't they do that 11 rounds ago?
Well, that is perfect as well. That's a whole lot better. And you can see everyone actually stepping up massively. Guardian, 2 huge impact frags tied to him. Not only that as well, he delayed them for so long. They couldn't even try and slip out of those positions as he was still firing pot shots over to them, allowing Flamey to capitalize at the end of that. That's a great opener. And the thing is, they were so dominant in their T-half. Even if they do only get this 1 round to play with, coming onto their T-half, they could very easily still close this down.
Yeah, definitely. If they can continue what they had, it's looking very, very good for them. But obviously, one I would say is all NaVi really needs, to be honest. I think they've done their job. Obviously, any more is just going to be the butter with the bread. As you can see, again, simple peeking out to middle. The double AWP this time going to be working out phenomenally. He opens things up. AZ will be found, and while Cajun will look for a bit of retaliation over towards Connector, he's pushed up towards short. With not really much support here, the next player to trade is MSL back in towards the top of the boxes. Will be coming down towards the chair. North just playing this one slow. Again, missing out on this first pick is being quite instrumental in NaVi picking up these rounds. And Guardian, again, the AWP is back in play. He does it for a second time, opening up this round again as he takes down Magisk.
Good opening frag there. Already 2-man deficit for the side of North. This isn't the best situation as it gets better as well. Simple able to dub his frags up in this round as he takes down Config Flamey from the site as well, executing anyone that comes into his path. Edward trying to get another frag to help out his teammates as well, and it will be KJB, the last man left standing. AWP in hand, the weapon he can be so proficient with. Still, it's so awkward for him. Trying to take these 4 fights up against these 4 ferocious players left on NaVi that are using such good angles. They don't really have any reason to take the fight either, but that is a 6 shot from Cajun B. Takes down Flamey, hungry for 1 more, but Simple was a little bit too fast to handle, takes him down, and that is just dominant so far. These opening 2 rounds have been crazy. North as well going to go for the pause here because of an issue. They'll try and get that sorted out and then work their way back in, but I mean, this is just crazy, right? You can see NaVi, what they needed to do throughout reg time, they've now brought into an OT, and they look so sick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that they didn't do it earlier on, to be honest. If they're doing it now dominantly as so, this is turning out to be a really good round. And the fact that we didn't see a single bomb plant from North as well, we talked about this, the full AK and AWP buy, look what it does to your economy in OT. This is why 10k can be so difficult on MR3, because you really don't have the cash for it. We see Cajun and Magisk relegated down to pistols here, and 3 AKs will be bought up. This had success on Cobblestone with these kind of buys, even worse buys for that matter of fact, but not so much on Mirage, a far more difficult map to get into. You don't really have the potential of going for the same fast B rushes over on this one. It's so much easier to Molotov and hold down. The CTs get there far earlier. So right now, North, I think a burst play is in order. That being said, I think it could be very difficult up against a double AWP setup.
So it's the scary factor, right? You're charging your way in towards that bomb site. Sure, they're going to get the opening frag, but if you can overpower them, it works out to the best of your ability. Aggression towards the A bomb site seems to be the key. Very limited utility though, Hugo. Obviously, a few flashbangs to play with, but they only have those free smokes. They're going to be going over, trying to basically divide the bomb site, block off those lines of sight and sip your way in. They really need to block out Simple here as well, because he's been so flawless with the AWP into that CT angle. He's been able to pick everyone off. Aggression from him coming out though as he plays close. We'll get the opening frag, and it's the collateral. Simple goes mental as he tears his way through. Guardian as well. AWPs galore as they punish everyone on the side of North. Guardian hungry for more as he plays from the elevated angle. Let's see if he can punish them. Is it still only 2 men men left standing on the side of North. They've been dispatched. Everyone is getting torn to shreds. Config fires back though, wants to claw it into more of a manageable situation. Magic's also doing damage, connects the headshot upon Guardian, leaving them in a 2 versus 2. Make that a 2 versus 1, as Config will be slain by Edward. They could be trying to shut this down as they work their way through. A great OT as they claim it. I mean, that is just absolutely insane, but we'll find out if that is going to be the way it goes. I mean, that is just ludicrous.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. I was just about to point out before we saw Simple get the collateral, that was a really good situation for North. We have one player on the A side. They were more so playing for retake. There was Simple there. We had the window control from Guardian, and yes, they had fast rotations back into the site, but if North just threw down those smokes before they actually committed to the peaks, Simple, while he did push up, take him aside, if he played that more passively, North would have had the bomb plant. They would have had, you know, a 5-on-5 retake, and that could have really favoured them. But no, Simple, I love it. He knows it. He has the confidence. He pushes back into the site as soon as the smoke goes down, and he single-handedly just denies North any entrance into that round.
That's fantastic as well, because that's the right mentality to have. If you see it a lot as well with players that aren't as experienced in clutch situations. If you're in that scenario where you know you're going to lose the site and you need to try and defend it early, if you go for that first play aggressively, if you get the opening frag there, it's so much bigger than you backing off and potentially getting killed in the late round. That retake would have been very awkward. Taking the aggression early completely changes the flow of the round, so it's just fantastic game sense coming out from them.
Yeah, and as well as that, we talk about advantages depending, you know, if you're on a 5-on-5 and a 4-on-4, who that favours.
Yeah.
And obviously, while a 4-on-4 will favour the Ts more than a 5-on-5, if you're in a post plan, even if you are equal as a CT, the less enemies there are, obviously, in relation to you, so say a 3v3 retake is easier than a 4-on-4 retake because there's less crossfires that can be held from the terrorists in post plan, same as on the reverse. So that's why it was so important. Even if Simple gets a kill there, only one, and he gets taken down, it's enough. He's done his job. But he could have even backed off after the first one, but I can't blame him after the confidence play on the first kill. And he's even going to be picking up the solo op here. This time going in for the mid spawn, very fast, looking for that opening pick, but no one from North is biting. They push Config down towards lower. AZ's going to be supporting from the window, and Cajun's on the orb, but he's got a lot to deal with. A Simple tag down in middle, but nothing significant to start off the round.
And this is scary as well. Obviously, giving him that dedicated warp, you know how ferocious he's going to be with it, especially on that T side. It plays into his playstyle. He is aggressive. He's a mean machine. He will bring that into your face and use like a shotgun if he wishes to, because that's just how confident he is as a player individually. MSL and Co, though, sticking together. They're going to go for this play out from B, trying to get these opening frags seized. Caught unaware as they get the opener. Config as well, helping him out as he takes down Edward. This is a great start to this round.
That's a great setup, a bait and switch from MSL and Config. The one player in underpass taking the control, and then the MSL coming in from the apps to surprise him as they try and chase down Config down lower. At least NaVi are still in this one, a 3-on-5. And Flamey looking like he might be able to get a pick. He knows AZ's there, but look at the short control from Config. Rotates back on in, gets himself another 3 kills. Flamey is completely blindsided. 2 players now remain for NaVi. Guardian on the AWP as well, but it's still a tall order. There's no reason to save into this one. They should definitely go for it because they want that loss bonus in play as well. But North, still a 5-on-2, looking very, very sound in this one. We do have Simple in towards the connector though, and he could cause some mischief because there's no one towards short to defend. And if he pushes up towards the A site, while they are aware he could take control of the connector, he could easily sneak in, either drop AZ or drop Magisk over towards that sandwich, and he will go for that kind of play.
You could create an abundance of havoc here towards the A-bomb site if he's allowed to do so, but the angle is covered. AZ holding it, fantastic. Guardian is the last man left standing. He has his trusty weapon back in his hands now, but trying to get out on the site isn't even going to be allowed. Denied by Config. The kill comes in, just what they needed as well. Obviously, they still have money to play with, but they're going to invest heavily straight away once again off the back of that. This time, the AWP will be in the hands of Guardian, though.
Yeah, I'm not playing on spawner. If they are, at least he is going to have the better spawn to play with. And that's the thing. NaVi don't need to be worried right now. They've got to pick up this round, because the thing is, if they do lose out on this one, it will be North to pick up 2, and then we'll be seeing a bit of a low buy from NaVi because they've invested in so many rifles here. No SMGs are coming to play yet, so we're going to see the same buy that North had on their last round of OT. And we could be seeing a 3-3 here, realistically. All North need to do is pick up this second one. Again, easier said than done. And NaVi set up for, hopefully, for them at least, what will be the next round and the win of this series. As AZ, he's posted up and towards a connector, going to be smoking himself off, so NaVi can't at least burst into there, and they will be smoking off the window to give themselves control. Could potentially split in towards B, but with the control outside of ramp held by Flamey, it's looking more centric towards the A side of things for the time being, especially with Seized pushed all the way down in underpass instead of taking the control towards B apps. Less likely to be a B play at this point, because obviously they have to completely regain the control of apartments, clear out that entire position where North could have got aggressive.
Let's see if that will be the case, though, as they slowly make their approach now down towards connector. What appears to be them just gaining that map control for a late round pincer play towards A. You can see the bomb repositioning now as well. AZ over by window. As soon as that smoke dissipates, He has the chance to strike and try and get an opening frag upon the T. Spots up the head of Seized, but instantly he will react as he smacks him down. That is a fantastic way to kick it off as well. Puts them into a good scenario now as they make their approach towards A. Magic's playing over from Sandwich can still be a bit of a nuisance though as his teammates start to rotate in as well. They have to find this frag, but they're finding kills all over the place. Edward taking down Config. Magix does find one, but the trade comes in from the back of Simple. KJB is there with the AWP, will connect one headshot. Takes down Simple, the second tag, but no frag. Leaving MSL to try and close this out. It's a 1 versus 3 to stop NaVi from winning this as he arrives on the scene, connecting the first headshot, the in-game leader. Can he close it out? Could he do the unthinkable to try and keep his teammates alive into this one? A 1 versus 2 as he approaches the site. Flashbang and Molotov to play with, can force them out of position. Flamey just holding strong though. No reason to peek as it hasn't spread to him yet. Seized as well, has the backstab covered. This should be so easy. As soon as he peeks round, they should find that frag onto him, which they will. The headshot comes in, NaVi pick it up. They're going to be able to close the game down. They go 1-1, but I mean, wow, that took so long for NaVi to get themselves back into the driving seat though. Into overtime, that looked like the classic NaVi wanted to see. That was more vintage NaVi.